Hello, and welcome to the BS Trivia Show. This is with Brendan and Sam, BS. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Brendan. Nice to see you again.
It's been a little bit, so we're actually just going to jump right into trivia now because we've missed doing this. We've missed you guys. We hope you've missed us. But if you've forgotten, this is a game of bar-style trivia with 4 standard rounds and a music round with 8 questions each. Each question is worth 1 point. The music round is worth 2 points, 1 for the song title and 1 for the artist. Finally, we have our BS section, which stands for bonus and stuff. This will contain a question worth 2 points for a grand total of 50 points. Now that you know the structure, let's get right into it. Brendan, how are you feeling today about our first round? For those who have not heard, which is everyone except for Brendan, that would be foreign language.
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. My 296-day Duolingo streak is making me feel somewhat confident, but that's only
What
Spanish.
language are you learning?
Spanish. Yeah, it's been fun, but I would not call myself anywhere near conversational at this point. So
we'll see how you do at answering some questions about foreign languages. Maybe some of them will contain a language. We'll see. All right, getting into question 1. English may be the most spoken language, but what is the number 1 native language in the world by population? So the most native-born speakers. Question number 2. Name 3 countries who have French as an official language. Question number 3. What is the most popular language in South America? Question number 4. Which fictional language is so popular that there is an institute for it, and popular works such as Hamlet have even been translated into it? Question number 5. Returning to native speakers, by its population in Europe, what European country has the most native speakers of its language? So, for example, for English, that would only count people who live in Europe. It does not count anyone born in America as a native speaker of English. Only population in Europe. For Spanish, same thing. Mexico doesn't count, even though those are native speakers. They are not in Europe, so they don't count. Question number 6. In what language would you see all nouns capitalized? Question number 7. What language am I speaking here? Elohe, Imehe, Emenhe, Ize, Emze. And question number 8. Aside from Spanish and French, name one of the other major Romance languages. Give you a couple seconds to wrap up your answers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could keep going. I'm pretty good at numbers. Not anything else in Spanish, just numbers. All right, Brendan. Muy bien.
Más o menos. I cannot do the rest of these answer round in Spanish. I'm not that good. Again, that 295 is that's a very bloated number. I think I probably got about 4. I'm confident in 4 of these answers.
Well, I'm excited for you to find out the rest of them. Starting with number 1. English may be the most spoken language, but what is the number 1 native language in the world by population? That answer would be Mandarin. So, if you said Chinese, that's not specific enough. You gotta say Mandarin for this one. English and Mandarin go back and forth actually in different lists of most spoken language in the world. I found a lot of differing things for that, but for most common native language, Mandarin was the far and away most common answer. Question number 2. Name 3 countries who have French as an official language. So I'm not going to list all of them because there's actually 29 countries that have French as an official language. I'll go through the ones you probably said. There's a lot of ones in Africa that speak it, so I'm not going to say all of them, but the ones in Europe that do are France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Monaco, and Switzerland. Some quick ones from Africa are the Dominican Republic of the Congo, Madagascar, my favorite country, Chad.
Democratic Republic of the Congo?
Both Congos.
Wait, is
The
there a
Democratic
Dominican?
Republic of the Congo and the Republic of the Congo was the list I found that said
You
they
said
speak it.
Dominican Republic of the Congo.
Democratic. Sorry.
It's fine. It's late. We're recording late. It's a late
You can
recording.
leave it in. We're doing this live.
We're doing
In
this
North
live.
America, we have Canada and Haiti. And then in Oceania, we have Vanuatu. Bonus points to you if you said any of the ones that were not Canada or France. There's a bunch of them from Africa. If you said 3 African countries, there's a good chance you got it. There's a lot of them there. Question number 3. What is the most popular language in South America? That would be Spanish. If you said Portuguese, you fell for my trap. It's Spanish. Although Portuguese is the most common spoken language in Brazil. Very cool language to speak. Question number 4. What fictional language is so popular there is an institute for it, and popular works such as Hamlet have even been translated into it? That would be Klingon. Elvish is a close second in most popular fictional language, but Klingon is still the far and away most favorite, most popular fictional language. Question number 5. That was our native speakers question. A little complex, but I hope everyone understood. So again, it's just looking at the continent of Europe. What is the most spoken native language in Europe? We're not looking at any other continent besides Europe when it comes to those numbers. That answer would be Russian. It's a little always hard to remember, but Russia is a part of Europe. Russian, there's a lot of people, and that's where most of the population of Russia lives, is in the European part. So that population does beat out Germany and all those other countries where you might have picked. So Russian is the correct language there. But speaking of Germany, what language do you see all the nouns capitalized? That would be German. So it's the most prominent one. Some other ones, English, we only capitalize proper nouns. Other languages that have capitalized all nouns, often they were under German influence, would be Danish, Swedish, and some other languages around there. Those languages have shifted a bit now. They no longer really do that, but Germany is the most prominent language where they capitalize all nouns. Question number 7. What language am I speaking here? Elohe, Ime, Emene, Izye, Amze. That would be, of course, the joke language of Pig Latin. Hope someone appreciated that one. I was going to try and do that for a lot of different languages, and then I realized it was going to just sound really bad, so I decided to do it for the joke language. So hope you guys got that one.
I liked it.
Thank you. And question number 8. Aside from Spanish and French, name one of the other major Romance languages. So there are 5 major Romance languages. That would be Spanish, French, and then Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian. So they all come from Latin. So Latin doesn't count in that. They come from Latin, and Latin is no longer. It's a dead language. It's the official language of the Vatican, so it's still an official language of a country, but would not count. So looking for Italian, Portuguese, or Romanian for that. Brendan, how did you do?
I got 6 of 8. 6 of 8. I had Germany and Russia backwards. I had it. So for some reason, when you asked that question, I heard all vowels are capitalized, not nouns, and that's entirely on me. You said nouns. I just heard vowels, and I said, sure, Russian, that makes sense. I initially had Hawaiian there. Again, thinking vowels. They're a very vowel-heavy language. Yeah, I think there are only like 17 letters total in the Hawaiian alphabet. But yeah, 6 of 8. Pretty happy with how I did. Did not.
That's pretty good. Muy bien. Muy bien.
Gracias. All right. I don't want to speak any more foreign languages. They scare me. I don't want to embarrass myself. Let's head on to the next round. That was a good round, Sam. That was a lot of fun. Solid questions there. Let's head on to my round, my pick. For this week, I was kind of cram my brain for a good question, and I settled on something a little fun. I decided to go with sandwich shops. Or as I said, off the sandwich chain, because off the chain, but it's chain sandwiches. Yeah. Anyways, I'm bad with puns. I had 2 of these in the past 2 days. one for dinner last night and one for lunch today. So, yeah. Sam, if you know my usual lunch order, or if anyone knows my usual lunch order, you're bound to get at least one of these. So, let's jump right into it. Sam, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good and hungry.
That's Skyline. That's the wrong.
It's never wrong.
It's never wrong, but it's
number one regional fast food chain.
very true. Very
Number
true.
one.
For like the 6th year in a row.
Shout out to Skyline. Please sponsor us. That would
love
be
you,
the best
Skyline.
sponsorship deal.
Please.
Shout out.
Please. Them and DH.
Feeling good and hungry.
Yeah, feeling very good and hungry. But let's jump into
DHK one.
Let's jump into sandwiches. So starting with question 1. This Chicago, Illinois restaurant chain, named for the old stove inside the antique shop that first toasted sandwiches for shoppers, now has over 400 locations across the country, with hits such as the Wreck, the Pizza Melt, and Mama's Meatball Sandwiches. What is this chain called? Question 2. Founded in Charleston, Illinois, when his father offered him a choice of joining the Army or starting a business, the namesake of this famous chain decided to include delivery to Eastern Illinois University, which has become scarily speedy in modern times. What is the name of this chain? Question 3. Renamed in 1972 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Pete's Supreme Submarine Sandwiches now has over 37,000 locations across the globe and is the largest single-brand restaurant chain in the world. Where do you go to eat fresh? Question 4. A Sub Above LLC operates under what other name, named after the original owner, Michael Ingravalo, who founded the Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey location in 1956? Question 5. Founded in Cincinnati, Ohio, this chain, known for its East Coast subs, was started by Miami University, the Ohio one, graduate Jeff Osterfeld, when he wanted to expand on the popularity of his take on the cheesesteak sandwich, as well as their fries and lemonade. What is it called now? Question 6. In 2013, this Denver, Colorado-based chain was the second largest submarine sandwich shop in the country, until filing for bankruptcy in 2014, and falling from a 2007 high, 4,700 stores, to only 400 by 2017. What chain is this? Question 7. Based in Rochester, New York, and with only 44 locations across 5 states, they are known for their 1940s decor and their oil dressing, with Clifton, Ohio being their furthest west location. What is this chain called? And question 8. This Philadelphia staple, known more for being a gas station / convenience store, they're also known for offering hoagies, the Philadelphia metro area name for a sub sandwich, and has now expanded to 12 states along the East Coast. What repetitive name belongs to this chain? Give you a few seconds to wrap up your answers there. Maybe go grab a sandwich to help you think. All right, Sam, how are you feeling?
Aside from hungry, I'm feeling okay. This is one of the ones where like it's a strategy, but I'd guess like the same one twice because I'm like it's one of these. So, okay, and I love this place. It's probably my favorite sandwich place. I'll reveal it after the round, but I feel okay. I definitely went at least 4 of 8.
Okay, well let's see how you did. So, question 1: Chicago, Illinois restaurant chain named for the old stove, the Potbelly stove inside the antique shop. It was converted to a restaurant shortly after opening as an antique store. That is Potbelly's, or Potbelly. Potbelly Sandwich Works is the official like company name. But if you wrote Potbelly or any variation thereof, you get the point there. Question 2. Founded in Charleston, Illinois, his father offered him the choice of joining the Army or starting a business, and he chose to get freaky fast with his delivery. That is Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's. That is the guy's actual name. That is the namesake of the company, which is kind of crazy. All right, question 3. Renamed in 1972 after being Pete's Supreme Submarine Sandwiches, that is, of course, the one, the only Subway Eat Fresh. Any Community fans out there, you know some of the extra lore behind Subway and their sponsorship of that show. A great crossover. It's a really beautiful thing. But that leads us into question 4. A Sub Above LLC operates under what other name? That other name is Michael Ingravallo of Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, a.k.a. Jersey Mike. Jersey Mike's. Great sandwiches. I think that one's underappreciated. It's slowly growing. It's growing in popularity thanks to that. There's an online trend right now about, letting Mike go to town on your sandwich. So I personally have not gone to a Jersey Mike since that started, but it's in the works. I'm planning on it.
It's solid. It's good, clean food. Danny DeVito's endorsing it, so it's good.
True. All right, question 5. Cincinnati, Ohio Classic. I don't know nearly enough people who go to this, but they have great sandwiches. That is Penn Station. Penn Station. I don't actually know if I've ever had Penn Station's Philly cheesesteak.
It's good.
I can't think if I've ever had it, but I'll have to try it next time I go. I know I've had their fries, and I know I've had their lemonade, both of which are delicious. So next time, I know where one is. I drove past one the other day after I got Jimmy John's for dinner. So I know to stop there next time instead of stopping the Jimmy John's on the same street. Although I do still love Jimmy John's.
I have a distinct memory of Penn Station my freshman year of college. Me and Brendan's mutual friend Donovan were with this other guy, Mason, who just kept trying to convince us that Penn Station was just the best place. And we're like, is it really that good? Like, is it really that much better than other places? And then we did this volunteer cleanup thing. It was okay. It was an interesting time. And we went to a Penn Station afterwards, and he was right. It was life-changing. People who know me, there's very few things I'm as gung-ho about as a Popeyes chicken sandwich, but I will say if I had to pick between having Popeyes or having Penn Station in my life for the rest of my life, it's a close call. I don't know if I can make that decision right now, live on air. Not live, but kind of live. But Penn Station, it's got great options. It's got great sides, good drinks. They sell these massive cookies too, just wrapped up. It's great food. Did not know it was from Ohio.
Pretty good. Yeah.
During the question, I was like, there's no way it's Penn Station.
Yeah, no, it's he started it as Jeffrey's Delicatessen, however you say that word. Whatever, I'm not from New York. In the Dayton Mall. And then expanded it to Cincinnati. So, yeah, shout out Penn Station. You should also sponsor us. That'd be great. Moving on to question 6. 2013, Denver, Colorado. Rest in peace to this phenomenal sandwich place. That is Quiznos.
I don't even know which way the Quiznos is.
I know where one is.
You know where one is?
It on the way. There's one on the way. If you drive to Minneapolis from Cincinnati, you pass it on the way. It's in the middle of Wisconsin, somewhere attached to a gas station, but there's a Quiznos there. I will pass it this weekend, and I will post a picture of it on the story if this is up by then.
It should be. Hopefully.
And if I remember when I pass it. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Quiznos, rest in peace to the 4,300 locations that closed in 10 years. I don't even know what they're down to now. That was 400 as of 2017, so it might be less than that now.
There's at least one in Wisconsin that I know of.
At least one in Wisconsin.
I will go to it if I remember.
I think there might be one up by Cleveland.
That's
so.
Right. That's where things go to die.
Yeah, usually. We'll get to Cleveland later. I've got a sports round to go through. Question 7. Based in Rochester, New York. Only 44 locations, so a small sample size, but they're across 5 states all the way out to Ohio. I know that my brother went here a lot when he went to UC. I did not go here a ton, but I've had their sandwiches before. That is DeBella's. DeBella's subs. If you've been to a lot of like Clifton college houses, you've probably seen their like oil, their sandwich oil on someone's shelf. It lasts forever. It never goes bad. Yeah. It's good, and it's delicious oil on your sandwiches. So, really good Italian sandwiches. I should get up there soon. It's a good spot. Anyways, finally, question 8. Philadelphia staple. Now a gas station convenience store. Not now known for being a gas station convenience store. Kind of sounds like Pac-Man. That is Wawa. Wawa. One just opened not too far from Cincinnati, so I'll have to make my way up there and get a hoagie.
This is entirely a flex, but I keep meaning to go there. But every time I just get tempted to go to UDF, and then I go to UDF.
Yeah, UDF supremacy. Go Bearcats, baby.
Yes. Wawa. All right, Brendan. Wawa or the Beaver Colt?
The
Which
other one? That's tough. Wawa sandwiches, like hoagies, are phenomenal. I do love a good Wawa sandwich. However,
a brisket sandwich.
A brisket sandwich is pretty good, and the overall experience of Buc-ee's,
bathrooms.
The bathrooms are incredible.
Incredible. As much as we try to hate on them, Buc-ee's is just too powerful for our hate.
It's too powerful. No, it's overpowered.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna wear a shirt, but I will every time I see it stop for a brisket sandwich. I can't stop myself.
Yeah. It's nice that there's one like right in northern Kentucky. Anytime I'm driving south, like on a long road trip, it's like sweet. That's my first stop. I'm planning on it. Yeah, I gotta go Buc-ee's.
When that one opens up in Ohio, there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna drive by it on my way to work.
Nice.
Almost every day. So
nice.
I'm gonna eat so much brisket. Anyway, for that round, I went 5 of 8.
5 of 8. All right, not too bad. Which ones did you miss there?
Potbelly, Jimmy John's, and DeBella's. I've never had DeBella's. As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Jimmy John's, I should have said it. I just didn't put it together. Potbelly, I said Portillo's, even though it's not a sandwich place. I just got stuck on Chicago, which they do have a really good cheesesteak sandwich. But yeah. Anyway, 5 of 8. 5 of 8 is how I did there.
Not bad. You did miss the 2 that I had I had Jimmy John's for dinner last night. I had Potbelly for lunch today. So
you should have had Penn Station.
I should have if I had known. Now I know. But there's also a Potbelly like right down the street from work. So
the Penn Station app, really elite for ordering. Just to give them the shout out before they sponsor us, please sponsor us. That was pretty great. Pretty great experience on the app.
Also pretty good. I use that consistently. They know me at the Potbelly by me. It's a little sad, but it makes me feel really good every time I walk in. They're like, "Oh, hey, Brendan, here's your order." And it's like, yeah. I don't know any of you.
But similar experience with the Wendy's, except for the worst part is it was his first time there. They just simply said, "We'll see you again."
They knew.
They went, "We'll see you soon." And he's like, "Oh." And then he was back because Wendy's has an elite breakfast deal right now.
Yeah.
$1 biscuit sandwiches for breakfast. You can get a sausage, egg, and cheese for $1 or a honey butter chicken biscuit for $1.
That does sound pretty good. Might have to check that out.
It's pretty great. But speaking of sounding pretty great, let's open up the music app with Brendan's music round today.
Yeah, but first, Wendy's sponsor us. Yeah, so music round today. Of course, we recently lost a music legend in Ozzy Osbourne. So to honor him, we are doing some heavy metal. So I'm not a huge metalhead myself, but I have a lot of respect for the genre. So I did some of my favorite metal classics. So you'll recognize a lot of these bands if you're a metalhead for sure. And these are also just songs that I really like. So, Sam, I don't know how you'll do on this. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't expect you to do well, but I had a lot of fun putting this one together. These are all really great songs. So let's jump into it. So let's jump into the music round with song 1. Song 2.
You need cooler.
Song 3. Song 4.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses.
Song 5.
If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, it's all the same to me.
Song 6. Song 7.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too.
Song 8. Give you a few seconds to work on your neck pain after headbanging to all of those. Okay, Sam, how do you think you did?
Not well. Not well.
Not well. Not well.
No.
Do you wanna hit us with a prediction?
I think I will get maybe 5 points.
Maybe 5. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 5.
Okay. Well, let's jump into these answers here. Starting with song 1, which is "Crazy Train" by Ozzy Osbourne.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Thanks, Ozzy. Song 2 is "Whole Lotta Love" by Led Zeppelin. Song 3 was "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple. Song 4 was "War Pigs" by Black Sabbath.
No more war pigs have the power.
Song 5 was "Ace of Spades" by Motorhead.
The ace of spades, the ace of spades.
Song 6 was "You've Got Another Thing Coming" by Judas Priest.
You think I let it go, young man, you got another thing coming.
Song 7 was "The Trooper" by Iron Maiden. And song 8 was "Master of Puppets" by Metallica. Okay, Sam. How'd you end up doing?
I went 4 of 16, so not great,
16?
but I got "Crazy Train" by Ozzy Osbourne, as will be referenced by my next round. I got "Smoke on the Water." That one's a classic. Even I know that one. And then I got Black Sabbath on an absolute Hail Mary.
Nice. Yeah, so a little bit of metal history that I actually learned making this round. Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, the guys who do Smoke on the Water, and then Black Sabbath, obviously, are what's called the Unholy Trinity. They are kind of the originators of the heavy metal genre. So obviously a huge part of that was Ozzy Osbourne himself. So, all these songs are incredible. I was listening to these pretty much all day today in preparation. The Trooper by Iron Maiden, great song. That riff, incredible. And of course, Metallica. You can't have a metal round without Metallica. Motorhead, Ace of Spades. I almost used that for a trios round back in the first episode 3. So kind of a little callback there. And then obviously Crazy Train. I mean, probably just one of the best songs ever. It's incredible. It's great. But
it's a great song. Do you know what else is incredible, Brendan?
Speaking of Crazy Trains, what else is incredible? Trains are incredible. Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet there's a good correlation between people that like trivia and people that like trains. So we're going to get right into that with question number 1. What country is home to the fastest commercial passenger train? And fun fact, it's actually home to the top 3 according to some sources. Question number 2. What is the likely origin of the standard gauge? That is the 1.435 meters or 4 feet 8 1/2 inch gap between the metal rails that we know today. So what is the origin of the standard gauge? Question number 3. What type of engine is a 284 Berkshire type locomotive? So I'm looking for what powers it, basically. What powers a 284 Berkshire type locomotive? Question number 4. In train slang, what does a deadhead refer to? Question number 5. Wouldn't be a train round without Thomas the Tank Engine. What number does Thomas have on his side? Question number 6. The need for consistent train schedules led to the creation of what to help standardize time, basically? Question number 7. In what city in Ohio did a train derail and spill 38 cars worth of hazardous materials? And finally, question number 8, also referencing Ohio, and a new movie that may or may not have come out recently that me and Brendan may or may not have seen. We'll talk about it in stuff. What DC superhero team's HQ is based on a former train station from Cincinnati, Ohio? Looking for the name of the HQ, not the team. All right, give you a few seconds to get on schedule here. Brendan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna give myself 6 out of 8. I'm gonna give myself that as my guess for how I did.
I'm gonna guess you got number 1 wrong. Number 1, I would have guessed a different country.
We'll see.
I'm guessing you guessed. Do you guess Japan?
I did guess Japan. Oh no.
Yeah, it's not Japan. Fun fact.
I'm gonna change my guess to 5 of 8. I got 5 of 8 correct.
All right. Well, can't get 5 until you get 1. So let's go starting with question 1. What country is home to the fastest commercial passenger train? So this would be the Shanghai Maglev in China, reaching speeds of 268 miles per hour. At one point, it's reached 310 miles per hour. The other 2 fastest trains, according to the train website I was on, they were also in China. So these are the commercial trains, not counting like cargo or other stuff. Commercial passenger trains, those would be China. Question number 2. What is the likely origin of the standard gauge, that 4 foot 8 1/2 inch gap between the metal rails? That would be Roman war chariots. So those were originally designed at a certain length, and then the cobblestones were designed at that length, and then they did the rails at that length. I learned that from a LinkedIn post because the space shuttle, fun fact, actually had to be regulated according to that because it had to go on a train through some tunnels. And so Roman war chariots actually had an impact on the size of the space shuttle.
That's way better than what my answer was. I put
your
the
answer?
average child height at the time because, like, that way if they fell on the tracks, they'd make it. I don't know. I was digging
most
for
creative
anything.
answer in BS trivia history. Brendan truly pulled out
I
BS answer of the day.
I was
BS
like-
answer of the day, everyone.
I don't know. It's got to be something with safety,
Roughly
you know.
the size of a 2-year-old child if it was lickable.
Yeah, you know, if it was laying between the tracks, he'd be fine.
No, Roman war chariots.
That makes way more sense.
Shout out to LinkedIn posts. All right, question number 3. What type of engine is a 284 Berkshire type locomotive? That would be steam-powered engine.
Boom, baby.
So you get a bonus point if you know what famous train this is referencing. So I'm going to give Brendan half a second to think about it and form a guess. So that would be everybody's favorite or least favorite Christmas movie, The Polar Express.
Oh, nice. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not get that bonus point. That's fine.
So, fun fact, the 284 Berkshire steam type locomotive. I took steam out of there. So that was, but it's the Polar Express, which, fun fact, actually used to be one of the trains that would run through Ohio back in the day on the Ohio train line. Question number 4. In train slang, what does deadhead refer to? That refers to a train being moved with no passengers or freight. So that is a deadhead train.
So I put just the engine, no cars. Are we taking that?
Well, you know what? Well, technically that is right. So you know what? We're gonna
It's a
take
form of
it mostly
deadheading.
because somebody bombed the music round today.
Yeah.
Not gonna
We
say
won't
who, but
It was me, actually, because I set you up for failure.
yeah, it's okay. I pulled out Black Sabbath out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, this one was a fun one. What number does Thomas the Tank Engine have on his side? Brendan, did you get it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
What'd you say?
I put number 1.
That is correct.
Oh, let's
Number
go.
1
I was
is
like-
correct.
This is such a crazy question because you just want to default say number 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hoping most people got this. This question, I'm hoping, has outed anyone who just doesn't throw out an answer. Always guess an answer. Always
Yeah.
try.
Also,
You said
fake-
no answer to this. You were wrong. He has the number 1.
He has the number 1. Also, fake Thomas the Engine fans. Thomas the Tank Engine. You got to know his number. I was not confident, but I knew it.
It's the little engine that could. Not really. That's a different
No,
one.
that's
But
it.
Question
Totally
number
different.
6. The need for consistent train schedules led to the creation of what to help standardize time? That would be time zones. So, yeah, kind of like, I don't know what else you would guess for that, but time zones. Because it used to be like you would go from different towns, and it's just like whatever their bell tower is set at, that's what the time is there. And so they needed to actually regulate that. And so they invented time zones. And then that helped to actually make sure. I think there are 15 total time zones in. Maybe that's wrong. That's wrong.
No, there's 24. That came up in a
24.
different trivia thing I was watching the other day. My friends and I were just
Other
watching like
trivia.
general knowledge trivia on YouTube, and time zones came up, and I was like 24, and it was right. So
Well,
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Every hour of the day.
yeah,
Yeah. But cool fact, there's a lot of actually stuff that was invented because like trains made things a lot more popular. A lot of cool fun facts I learned doing this round, but not a lot of it translated to trivia. But I wanted to throw that one in there.
Yeah.
Hopefully people got that right. Speaking of things I hope people got right, questions number 7 and 8 are Ohio train questions. So starting with number 7, in what city in Ohio did a train derail and spill 38 cars worth of hazardous materials? That would be East Palestine, Ohio.
I did get
So that
that
was
one. I remember
A couple years ago.
Wasn't that like? That feels like it was like last year. When was that?
It
2022.
No, it was 2023.
Okay. So
Yeah,
still more recent than that.
3-ish, I believe.
Yeah, that was crazy.
it's
That was a
spring,
huge deal.
Early spring. Yeah, I remember I was in Arizona. I was coming back to Ohio with a bunch of guys, and some of them were like super concerned that we were gonna get hazardous chemical contaminations, even though we were going to Columbus and Cincinnati.
Yeah, like the other side of the state.
Yeah, I'm like, we'll be okay. They're like, well, isn't it gonna flow in the Ohio River, Cincinnati? Don't. If you think that the Ohio River is that clean already, just
Yeah.
like,
It might make it cleaner, honestly.
it did not. Actually, the city of Cincinnati like blocked off all the water it took
I do
out
remember
when
that,
the
yeah.
hazardous. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible event.
Yeah, really
What's
bad.
not a horrible event was the recent Superman movie. Honestly,
Almost.
got to give it a thumbs up.
Great movie. I enjoyed it. I saw it twice within 24 hours. Not to brag. Completely
great.
by my own fault.
I was blown away. Went in with low expectations. It's a good movie. I'm not gonna say more because I want people to go see it. Don't want to spoil anything. But well done, very well done. Good job, James Gunn. And so the HQ that makes an appearance in that, based in Cincinnati, Ohio, they filmed at it. That would be the Hall of Justice for the Justice League or the Justice Gang from the movie, but Union
Friends.
Yes, but it was at Union Terminal in Cincinnati, but I was looking for the Hall of Justice is the DC superhero team's HQ. So, Brendan, how'd you do?
So remember when I changed my answer to 5 of 8? I should have stuck with 6 of 8 because that's what I got. I was very unconfident in East Palestine. I couldn't remember if it was like New Palestine, Ohio, but I remember the name Palestine being in there. So, yeah, 6 of 8. Hall of Justice, pretty cool. Love driving past it every day. Well, not every day anymore, but I drove past it every day for a while, and it was cool to see.
Speaking of great towns for sports like Cincinnati.
Yeah, speaking of great towns for sports, Sam and I are both Cincinnati Bearcats, as is evidenced in the back of Sam's frame there. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see it. But if not, we are both Bearcats. Go Cats, baby. But we also have a professional team. And there are a couple other cities that have both a professional team and a college team. So that's what we're going to be talking about, is the college to pros pipeline in the NFL by city. So there are a lot of players that like played in a state in college and then went to a pro team in that state. A lot of guys that went to like Houston, and then the Cowboys or the Texans went to Ohio State, and then the Browns or the Bengals. That's a super common one. We're looking a little more specific than that. We're looking even deeper. So city, same pro team. Couple of these guys went to the same schools, but then ended up on the same pro team. So we'll see. You'll kind of see how it plays out. So let's jump right into it. Question 1. This Miami Hurricanes running back was taken in the 4th round of the 2012 draft to the Miami Dolphins till 2015 before bouncing around the league. He made the Pro Bowl in 2018 for the Texans. Who is this player? Question 2. This wide receiver accepted a scholarship from Southern Methodist University, where he helped them win the 2009 Hawaii Bowl his sophomore year, before going undrafted and signing with the Dallas Cowboys in 2012, finally breaking out in 2015, leading the team with 5 touchdowns across 4 starting quarterbacks. Who is he? Question 3. This lifelong Cincinnatian became a 2-time consensus All-American with the Cincinnati Bearcats in 2007 and 2008, before being drafted by the Bengals in 2009, which led to a Pro Bowl selection in 2014 and a Super Bowl appearance in the 2021-2022 season. And he holds the franchise record for most games played. Who is he? Born in Erie, Pennsylvania, this running back didn't have to rush too far after declaring for the 2017 draft, after 3 years as a Pitt Panther, when he was drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 3rd round. He called Heinz Stadium home from 2013 to 2020 before joining the Arizona Cardinals in 2021. Who is he? Question 5. This safety for the LA Rams attended UCLA for his college career, earning second-team All-Pac-12 honors in 2021 before being selected in the 6th round of the 2022 draft. Who is he? Question 6. This QB won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award as a Pitt Panther in 2021 before being drafted just across the road to the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022, the only quarterback taken in the first round that year, before joining PA's other team, the Eagles, and closing out the final plays of Super Bowl 59. Who is he? Question 7. This Arizona State University linebacker was drafted in 1998 to the Arizona Cardinals and played 4 years in the NFL before enlisting in the Army Rangers following the 9/11 attacks. He had a statue erected in his honor in Phoenix after he tragically passed away in service. Who is he? And finally, question 8. Another 2022 draft quarterback, this Bearcat led his team to the only group of 5 appearance in the college football playoff semifinals for the 4-team format and an undefeated at-home record in historic Nippert Stadium before being drafted to the Atlanta Falcons. He recently was signed by the Cincinnati Bengals. Who is he? You've got a few seconds on the clock before your draft timer is up. All right, Sam, how'd you do?
I put my list away, but I think I only missed 1 or 2, maybe 1.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into those answers. So, Miami Hurricanes running back, 4th round draft pick to the Miami Dolphins, till he bounced around the league, playing most of the rest of his career for the Texans and a couple other teams, practice squads and full time before he retired. That is Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller. Question 2. This wide receiver accepted a scholarship from SMU, helped them win their first bowl game since receiving the death penalty back in that was the 90s, right? That they got that. Then he was a UDFA, signed with the Cowboys, his hometown team. One of only 2 guys to go not drafted by their college hometown team. He then later had a really good career with the Bills, but I didn't include that because I felt like that would be a bit of a giveaway. That is Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, yeah. Great player. Really helpful in fantasy for me 1 year. And then he just kind of tapered off, and I think he's out of the league right now. I think he retired. I think he full-time retired, yeah. All right, question 3. Lifelong Cincinnatian. Yeah, born and raised here. Love this guy. Kevin, hit us up. That is Kevin Huber, Bearcats legend, Bengals legend, huge fan. His number is retired at UC, or at least it's up on the wall of honor. Was part of the 2007 and 2008 teams. Consensus All-American, which is pretty incredible for a group of 5 punter. Do you know how good you have to be a 2-time consensus All-American? That's impressive. And then, of course, a Pro Bowler in 2014 and the punter for the Super Bowl Bengals. Yeah, Kevin Huber will always have a very special place in my heart. Always loved him. He wrote this beautiful note to the city of Cincinnati when we made the Super Bowl. Me and my parents both cried while reading it. I think this is the second time I've brought that up on this podcast. But yeah, Kevin Huber, great guy. Deeply missed, but holds the franchise record for most games played. Love that guy. Anyways, on to question 4. Erie, Pennsylvania, then went to the University of Pittsburgh as a Pitt Panther, then was drafted to the Steelers in the 3rd round. That is James Conner. James Conner. He joined the Arizona Cardinals in 2021. Sam, you got anything to say about him as a Cardinal?
He is a solid touchdown machine in fantasy.
He is.
Definitely look for him as a late-round pick this year in fantasy football. Also, because it hasn't been mentioned in a couple years, he did overcome cancer. That used to be a weekly mention. Now people forgot about it. Still something that's impressive. It's impressive.
It's crazy impressive. Yeah, I've always really liked James Conner just for his story. Obviously, kind of sucked that he was a Steelers player, but credit where credit is due. It's super amazing the life he's lived. He's only 29 maybe, if even that. I don't even think he's that old. He's been around for a minute. But anyways, yeah, credit to James Conner. Great player. Still a productive fantasy pickup.
Great player, great story. some pretty horrible haircuts he's had.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer on the. Go to a better barbershop, James. Sam, do you know any good barbershops in AZ?
I spent like $50 on a haircut there one time. I was so
Oof.
upset.
Yeah, that's
My
not
friend
good.
Jeff is moving back there and gives haircuts. Brendan knows Jeff. Shout out to
Yes.
Jay-Z.
Moving on to question 5. Safety for the LA Rams, attended UCLA, second team All Pac-12. This one was a bit of a deep cut, but kind of how I got this one. It's Quentin Lake. He's a safety for the Rams. How I got this one was I just went to the UCLA or the Rams roster and just like filtered by college and scrolled until I saw UCLA or USC and picked the player I thought most people would get. Not my
Got this one. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to you
Shout out
because
to
this is a
you.
deep cut.
Post it on your story. Let us know. We'll feature you on the story if you got Quentin Lake.
Yes. This next one, question 6, pretty classic story. Quarterback won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm as a Pitt Panther. Then he was drafted to the Steelers. That is Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. And now a Cleveland Brown. So there's our Cleveland callback.
Unless he gets cut by Monday, which
unless he
I
gets
think
cut.
he will be.
I
don't think he'll be cut by Monday, but I think he will be cut before the season starts.
There's a small chance. Anyways, Kenny Pickett, he had a really cool interview going into the draft where he said every day walking into because the Panthers practice facility is right across the street from the Steelers practice facility because they share a stadium. And he said every day he walked across the street, or he was like walking into the practice facility. He was like, one day I'll walk through those doors instead, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, didn't work out great for him there, but hopefully he finds success somewhere else. But yeah, that was a really cool story to hear. But speaking of really, really cool stories, question 7, Arizona State linebacker, then Arizona Cardinals safety, and then Army Ranger. That, of course, is the legend Pat Tillman. Yeah. There's not a lot to say about this guy that hasn't been said. Definitely a bit of a tragic tale, but a beautiful example of patriotism. So shout out to Pat Tillman and his family, of course, as well.
Yeah, it's a great example of just the character of sacrifice. You can see that in the way he played football. He was always winning. He was teammates with Jake the Snake Plummer for Arizona State. They lost in, I think, the BCS national championship to I forget who they lost to. But if you haven't heard of Jake the Snake Plummer, it's just your classic quarterback name.
That is a good good QB name.
I think both of them ended up on the Cardinals as well.
Jake Plummer is Jake Plummer is a familiar name. I don't know why, but yeah. Shout out to Pat, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, but Pat Tillman just just went for the ball, always played super hard. Really interesting autobiography / biography. I've read it. It's really good. I would recommend it. But it's also pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy, but it's good. It's good. It's a good thing to read and get his perspective on it. There's a lot of stories out there on it, but I would definitely recommend that his biography / autobiography.
All right, and
Jake the Snake Plummer did in fact play for the Cardinals as well, so that one could have worked, but he, that's a deeper cut than Pat Tillman. So
yeah, and
Jake the Snake.
On to question 8, another 2022 draft quarterback. Of course, the quarterback while Sam and I were at UC. I went through a couple years without him, which was really sad. But yeah, that is of course Desmond Ridder. Undefeated at home, Desmond Ridder. All four-year starter, right? He started all 4 years.
Yeah, he was a red shirt, so he was at UC for 5 years.
That's right. That's right.
He was the starter for all 4 of my years at UC. One of my freshman roommates went to the same high school as him in Louisville, St. X in Louisville, or Louisville, or however you want to pronounce it. Louisville. But yeah, Desmond Ridder. He's he took UC to playoff game. can't say anything negative. That Notre Dame game, going back and watching
that Notre Dame
highlights of him,
Yeah.
so good. Indiana, also really good to just go back and watch. The first time we beat UCF in 2019?
That was in 2019. That was my freshman year. That was the first Nip at Night that I'd gone to.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, that was electric. Getting to chant "overrated" with a bunch of fans, and then storming the field. Yeah, that was when we stormed the field. Yeah.
If you go back and watch the ESPN highlights for that game, you can see me and my friend Jake at the end storming the field, which is hilarious because Jake no longer attended UC. He's actually wearing a Rubik's Cube sweatshirt. So if you want to see Jake, go to the ESPN highlights of that game. Go to the end when they're rushing the field. He's the blonde kid at the end. Rubik's Cube sweatshirt.
Yeah, that was a great memory. That Notre Dame game, I went up for that. That was also a pretty electric moment. But yeah, Desmond Ridder, responsible for some of the highlights of my college football memories. Obviously, Sam and I also went to that semifinal game for the college football playoffs. Pretty great.
That is a story for its own stuff, though.
Yeah, that's its own. We need to have a whole stuff dedicated to just that whole weekend because that was a pretty.
We'll wait till football season. We're not there yet. We're not football season yet.
But anyways, so Sam, how did you do on that round?
I went 5 of 8, so I'm a little disappointed in myself. I should have thought of Cole Beasley. I don't know why I didn't. I was just like, I went with Des Bryant because I figured you were trying to make some sort of Des caught it jab, which he did not catch it, but it's fine.
Per the definition of a catch, probably caught it. Anyways, no, 2015 was actually Des Bryant was out for most of that season, most of that year. And so that's what led to him being like the top receiver on the team pretty much. 5 touchdowns across 4 quarterbacks, and he led receivers. That was the top. That's pretty tough. That's a tough look for the Cowboys. But yeah, it's hard for me to picture him in a Cowboys jersey, admittedly. I mostly picture him in a Bills jersey. But
yeah, as soon as you said Bills, I got it.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of him in the. As soon as you said it, I thought of it, but it's just one of those that didn't translate.
So were the other two you missed, Quentin Lake and Lamar Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. I didn't think you'd get those two. No offense.
Some good deep cuts. Shout out to anyone that got those. Speaking of shout outs, we have our bonus question today.
Bonus question.
So for those who were paying attention last week to the Instagram, I went on a lovely road trip. I'm going to talk about it more in stuff. But we had a bunch of questions on there. Everyone, thank you for guessing. Thank you for playing. We'll talk about why Brendan hates Iowa and stuff. But there was one question that nobody got right. There was one question that there's one guess for it. And that guess was from Brendan. And he's going to guess it again because he didn't look for the right answer. That question would be, what is the largest geyser in Yellowstone National Park? And the hints given on the Instagram was that it's not Old Faithful.
Yeah, so I'm gonna adjust my answer a little bit. I'm gonna addend it. I'm gonna go the big old geyser. So I said the big geyser initially. I'm gonna go the big old geyser.
That's not right. No. So the correct answer is Steamboat Geyser, which is actually, fun fact, Steamboat Geyser, which is the tallest active geyser in the world.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That is a very generic name.
So the thing about it, the reason it's not popular is its eruptions can be years apart.
Oh yeah, that's not
fun. So
Old
Faithful is very consistent, but it's hotter, older, and more acidic than Old Faithful. So just, what people are looking for. It has like 2 vents. Shout out to anybody. So if you got that right, that means that you paid attention to the Instagram and you love trivia enough to look that up after you didn't get it.
Or you just know geology really well. That's the other.
Or you don't follow us on Instagram and you knew that and you could have rubbed it in everyone's faces on Instagram, but instead you're going to get to do it to whoever you're listening to this with. So shout out to you. Let us know if any of you did look it up and knew it. The Steamboat Geyser.
We will not.
Anyone
judge
you're playing
don't
with,
worry.
is going to be pissed because that's such a good like answer to know off the top of your head that no one would know.
Crazy.
They're either a Yellowstone fanatic or you looked it up because you wanted to get this bonus right. But all right, Brendan, how did we do?
Yeah, so not great. 26 out of 50. Doesn't help. Kind of
Still over 500.
still over 500. I kind of sunk us on the music round. That was my fault. I set us up for failure there, but had to pay respects to Ozzy. And then I missed the bonus question. And yeah, other than that, pretty good. I got 6 out of 8 on both of my rounds, so feeling pretty good about that. Not to flex on you. Not to flex on you. I'm just saying, you gave me good rounds. You gave me nice rounds to be able to answer. So getting into some stuff, why I hate Iowa. So there were a couple guesses on the Instagram. Sam, do you have those pulled up, please?
Yes, I do. So my personal favorite one was from your brother. So Brendan's brother posted to the question of why does Brendan hate Iowa? He put, quite simply, because he can't find it on a map.
And if you were paying attention to the story, again, I reposted that answer and I said, I wish I couldn't because it shouldn't exist.
Some other answers included, it's just corn. Luca Garza, which was a reference to UC losing to Iowa in March Madness. Brendan was, luckily for him, not in school at UC when that happened. I was at that game, so I hate Iowa because of that, but it's fine.
Yeah, it did not help my perspective on Iowa.
Macy, shout out to Macy. Got to give her the shout out. She said, I think they creamed UC in a sport. They didn't cream us in basketball. It just, the comeback is kind of worse than a creaming. That one hurts worse than the Alabama one, I'm going to be honest. Not that I wouldn't wanted to win that one more, but that one hurts more. And then the last one, not enough punting.
Not enough punting.
Not enough punting. Which, I mean, they just discovered the forward pass in that football offense, so you can't really blame them.
Very true.
But Brendan, you want to talk about why you hate Iowa?
Yeah, so I hate Iowa because I've had to drive through it. I played Ultimate Frisbee in high school, a sport very near and dear to my heart. We had a tournament. It was the Central Regional Tournament in Ames, Iowa. Ames is pretty much, if I remember my Iowa geography correctly, which I probably don't, pretty much right in the middle. It is from Cincinnati an 8-hour drive, not counting time changes and things. So I think on the way back it ended up being closer to 10. I am not able to sleep in cars. That is not a skill that I have, which is most unfortunate. I also can't sleep on planes either. If I'm like truly tired enough, I'll eventually fall asleep. But most of the time, I just cannot do it.
I was going to comment there. I've seen Brendan sleep in a car. It's one of the more terrifying moments of my life.
When was okay? We'll talk. We'll get to that.
It was after the end of an 18-hour car ride when I was hallucinating and I needed someone else to drive, and I was finally going to ask Brendan to drive, and he had just crushed an energy drink and he was fast asleep in the car. And I looked at him, looked at the empty, I think it was a Bang, and I'm like, you know what? I'm hallucinating right now, but I'm going to keep myself more than I who just pounded a Bang energy drink and then passed out.
If you had woken me up, I would have done it. I would have been fine. It's just I no longer felt the need to be awake. You weren't. Anyways, unimportant. It's difficult for me to fall asleep in cars. I also had the entire car to myself, so I could like lean all the way back. I could get comfortable. I was in an 18-passenger van with about 12 other people, so I did not have a lot of space to myself. I believe it was 3 years. 3 years that I had to make this drive out to Iowa and back. Didn't have to drive for any of it, but it is just corn the whole way. There is not a tree in the state. Once you get out of Illinois, you don't see a tree until we got to the place we were playing Ultimate. Not even by the hotel were there trees. And then one year we stayed somewhere on the drive back. We stayed at another hotel on the way back, and it was under a bridge, and there were just mosquitoes, like a cloud of mosquitoes over like probably a square mile. It was a full mile of just mosquitoes all throughout the air. It was terrifying. So we just like sprinted inside. Yeah. So certified Iowa hater here. It needs to be absorbed into the, I'm looking behind Sam here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states that it's touching? Yeah. No, 5. It doesn't actually touch what is that, Colorado there? No, that's
South Dakota.
No. No, it touches South Dakota. What's the one beneath Nebraska there? Arkansas. Arkansas?
Kansas.
That's Kansas. Ha.
Just Kansas.
Can't find Kansas on a map, but I can find Iowa. It doesn't actually touch Kansas, but yeah. It should be absorbed in the 5 states that it, or the 6 states that it touches. They should all claim parts of it.
Well, Brendan, thank you for sharing a really deep and wounding story for us all.
Yeah.
It's not rare that we get deep on this podcast, but Brendan was able to share that with us. So just silent round of applause from all of our dozen people who listen to this podcast. Hopefully dozens soon. There actually, I believe, are more than 12. So shout out to our listeners. I just got back from Iowa, actually. I was on my cross-country disc golf road trip. Played disc golf in 10 states, Iowa being the last one. We played that one.
I'm so sorry.
On Monday morning. We're recording this on a Thursday. I won Iowa. So this map behind me, maybe next week, maybe the week after, depending on how much my schedule works out. I'm going to be painting it in the colors of who's won the states. So me and 2 of my friends, we're trying to play disc golf in every state. We've played in 33 states so far. So this trip highlights include playing in a national park in Montana, in the Badlands there. That was super cool. I lost a disc because it got stuck on a mountain. Super cool. We played in Yellowstone. There's a disc golf park there that you may or may not have to allegedly sneak onto, so we allegedly played on that one. There was a bison on one of the holes. That was pretty cool. I will be willing to say we are probably the only 3 people who have played disc golf in Yellowstone and also on the National Mall, mostly because in the National Mall we built our own disc golf course with our own hole. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The country's just pretty beautiful out there. We got to see Crazy Horse and see Yellowstone, went all the way to Idaho. Idaho's very beautiful. Shout out to my friend Bennett, who's moving up there for a job. Excited for him. It was just a great time. Yeah, if you've never gotten a chance to just go on a big road trip, I would recommend doing it. Getting to see the U.S. It's a very beautiful country. We have a lot to offer. It's hard because it's a long drive. People in other countries don't understand driving 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. But I would recommend doing it at least once or twice in your life. Because A, it's really cool. It's a good bonding thing with friends. And also, you get to listen to a good podcast while you do it, like this one.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our stuff as well. Please follow along on our Instagram. That is bs.trivia. We'll be posting some more stuff on there. There'll be some, probably like a weekly trivia question about Sam and myself. Something that, we can't fit into a whole round maybe, but probably just funny little things that if you talk to us, you probably know the answer to. And if you have a round idea, question idea, anything like that, or if you're like our friend Mark Johnson and just want to tell us that you're way better at our show than we are, email us at wwcooler@gmail.com. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that email, Sam, but Mark was just like, I'm way better at your show than you guys. And it's like, all right, man, we'll have to have you on and give you the hardest round we possibly can.
Bring back puzzles.
Yeah, I wonder if he did that one. But anyways, so shout out to our listeners. Shout out to everyone following the Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram, that's fine. Still feel free to reach out, email us. Follow along on Spotify, on YouTube. We're posting some stuff over on YouTube as well. Just kind of follow along where you can. But we really appreciate you for tuning in. Sam, do you have anything else for the people?
Yes, shout out to my mom. She downloaded Spotify to listen to this. So
Nice.
Shout out to the moms.
Nice. Shout out to the moms.
Stay hydrated out there.
Bye-bye.